around your town and across the country. This is America Today.
Hello and welcome. I'm Neil Brown. Our perception of the Soviet Union as a country of shortages and few choices is to some extent still very true. But all that's changing little by little. In Beyond the Kremlin, reporter Monica Gale and photographer Sonny Jackson go shopping and describe what it's like to be a consumer in the Soviet Union.
The Soviet people still find themselves having to stand in line sometimes when they go shopping, especially when they're looking for things like shoes and clothing. The lines are long because the goods are scarce, and sometimes because of slow and surly sales clerks. At least that's what the people in this store told our camera crew before the manager asked us to leave. At the markets we visited, it's a different story. Here, there's plenty of food and flowers to buy. The shoppers make a day of it. They're sociable but shrewd, stopping to haggle over the price and quality of the food. One noticeable change we found, the Soviet Union is starting to discover marketing, Western style. The state-run store in Tbilisi in the southern part of the Soviet Union opened a year and a half ago. It's a new concept in fashion merchandising. Customer demand is tested here. A limited number of original styles are found on the racks. Those styles that sell quickly are then manufactured in greater quantity. Those that don't are banished to the basement. It's an idea that's very popular, especially with Soviet women anxious for more fashionable clothing and more to choose from.
A lot of people come here not only from Tbilisi, but from other parts of the Soviet Union. The models we have in our shop, they don't have in their shops.
Advertising, which until last week didn't exist in the Soviet Union, may be coming into its own. Last night, for the first time, paid commercials for Pepsi, Visa, and Sony were shown on Soviet TV. But you won't see any advertising on Soviet streets. The only billboards to be found are still those with the familiar pictures of Lenin, Gorbachev, and other Soviet leaders. This, after all, is the center of world communism.
Hey, American, you want to trade? We'll take anything. That's the war cry of the battalion of black marketeers that surrounds each of the tourist hotels in the Soviet Union. Young men and women approach tourists offering to trade for Western clothing or American dollars. They don't want rubles. They've got plenty of those already. What they want is consumer goods they can't find in Soviet stores.
Fact is that the quality of products in the Soviet Union is very low.
In Moscow, Levi's can sell for several $100s. Reeboks and Nikes are highly prized. And this seems to be the standard unit of currency, Marlboro cigarettes. They're worth about $8 a pack in trade. Debbie Platz of Boulder is a student at the Pushkin Institute in Moscow. She says the black market was one of her biggest adjustments.
The black marketeers, for example, yes, who want to buy the clothes that you've got on, you know it's illegal and you can't sell it to them. And that's really difficult to say, no, I won't sell it to you.
The black market is an embarrassment for the Soviet Union. It points out the country's serious economic weaknesses. But it's so widespread, police have been unable to stop it from operating. The Russian police are very hard on those caught selling to tourists. It took quite a bit of persuasion to get these black marketeers to show the trinkets they trade for items of Western clothing. They eventually agreed if their faces weren't shown. 2 Russian police officers, though, saw us talking to the contingent of marketeers at one hotel. The next day, there was a police crackdown and several ringleaders were arrested. Trading in foreign currency is worth 5 years in prison, but one black marketeer offered to give us the equivalent of $300 in trade for a U.S. $100 bill. This is a Berezovka, or a foreign currency store. It sells liquor, clothing, rugs, pottery, goods that can't be purchased in Soviet stores. It's illegal for most Soviet citizens to shop here, but with black market American currency, the Soviets can sneak in and buy things they can't find elsewhere. The Soviet Union's black market is a culture shock to some. One of the first things a foreigner sees is cars without windshield wiper blades. The blades are a hot item on the black market. Motorists who don't want them stolen have to store them in the glove compartment. If perestroika, the reforming of the Soviet economy, is successful, the black market could be one of the first institutions to disappear.
Next time, we'll examine health care in the Soviet Union and see how some folks are beating the odds on age. Please join us then for America Today. And until then, thanks for being with us. I'm Neil Brown.
This has been a presentation of the Gannett Broadcasting Group in association with the Gannett Company Incorporated.